Welcome to Tube Vision. This episode is about the Barnaby Jones television series that ran on CBS from 1973 to 1980 in total 8 seasons and 173 episodes. Barnaby Jones' occupation, who was played by Buddy Ebsen, was a private eye for many years. He decided to retire and left the business to his son Hal. When Hal was murdered while working on a case, Barnaby came out of retirement to find the killer. Buddy Ebsen was 64 years old when he started the show. The show was created by Edward Hume, a film and television writer known for creating Canon in 1971. Also among his shows that he created were The Streets of San Francisco, Toma, and of course Barnaby Jones, what we're talking about today. The show's first episode, Requiem for a Son, featured a crossover with Cannon, with William Conrad guest starring as Detective Frank Cannon. The show, after 2 years after this pilot was shown, was picked up by CBS in 1973, just as kind of like a midsummer type of show, but actually became a big hit and ran for 8 seasons on CBS. Hank Sims narrated the opening credits. Jerry Goldsmith composed the series' theme music. Some of the people that played on Cannon were some pretty great actors, in which you'll know by name, male and female both. William Shatner and Robert Reed played villains on the show, among other people that I haven't named here, but it was a very highly cast show that showed a lot of different actors and actresses at the time. Bonnie Ebsen, Buddy Ebsen's daughter, guest starred 6 times on the series. Barnaby Jones also was a non-drinker, unlike the stereotypical detective. Barnaby Jones is the second longest running private eye television series of all time, with 8 seasons and around 178 episodes. As the series progresses, Barnaby and Betty get new models of their Ford vehicles each year, but JR always drives the same 65 Ford Mustang. And Barnaby's drink of choice is a cold glass of milk to show him as a man who hasn't been rendered cynical by the line of work and prefers to keep his wits about him. It's kind of funny, on a TV show Newhart in 1982, there's a character on there called George Utley, played by Tom Poston. All-time favorite show in the sitcom, that was one of his shows that he loved to watch, Barnaby Jones. And so did I. But Barnaby Jones's gun of choice was a Smith & Wesson Model 10. Buddy Ebsen started his career. He was born Christian Ludolf Ebsen Jr., April 12, 1908. Buddy Ebsen lived a long life. He lived till 95. His death was in July 6 of 2003, which I said he was 95 years old when he passed. Also known, people called him Frank Buddy Ebsen, was an actor and dancer whose career Ebsen and his family in 1920 relocated to Orlando, Florida. He was originally from Belleville, Illinois, and the whole family picked up in 1920 and moved to Orlando, Florida. Ebsen and his sister learned to dance in the dance studio his father operated in Orlando. So his father and his family, they came from a background of dancers and entertainers. So that's what he was geared to do. He knew that, I'm sure they knew at that time that they wanted to get into show business, and it was just in their blood. So he graduated from Orlando High School in 1926. Initially interested in a medical career, Ebsen attended the University of Florida in Gainesville, Florida from 1926 to 1927. And then Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida from 1927 to 1928. Then there's a big financial, probably during the stock market crash and everything else. Finally, financial problems caused the collapse of the Florida land boom, forced him to leave college at the age of 20. So he left college at the age of 20 just because, back then it was the hard times, and he definitely had to try to do something else for his family and himself. Ebsen left Orlando in the summer of 1928 to try his luck as a dancer. When he arrived in New York, he had $26.75 in his pocket, equal to money today. He and his sister, Vilma Ebsen, formed an act and performed in supper clubs in vaudeville. They were known as the Baby Astrides. I think I'm saying that right. On Broadway, they appeared as members of the chorus, and they became very famous. They were all the rave. They got a rave review from Walter Winchell, who saw them perform in Atlantic City, which led to a booking at the Palace Theater, the pinnacle of the vaudeville world. Buddy Ebsen, remembered as two characters in my mind. Jed Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies, which he played a great role at. He was very, very a thought-provoking man on the Beverly Hillbillies. One of his famous lines is, I remember his famous line being, "One day I'm going to have to sit down and have a long talk with that boy." It's always very funny. And that show, I remember him very well, and it was a great career for him on that, which took off on Barnaby Jones, which was a totally different character than Jed Clampett. But it just shows you at his age of 64, 65, whatever it was, he was very agile. I remember him writing that show, running after people and doing stuff that, I don't know, most people at his age could not have done. So he was a very tremendous actor and well-known on TV and in vaudeville and dancing. I remember him dance. I've seen a lot of videos of him dancing in black and white. Very charismatic guy. One of those actors back at that time that had just the personality that you love to see on television and the screen. I don't know if he played in any movies. I didn't get that far into his career, but I know on television when I seen him, I always liked watching him on TV. I know that he was supposed to be the Tin Man, I believe, in The Wizard of Oz, but that didn't work out because he was allergic to the metallic paint, I believe, that they put on his face. He was allergic to that and could not play the Tin Man in the movie The Wizard of Oz, which would have been a big role for him at that time. If I'm mistaken on that, let me know in the comments below. But I believe I did hear something about that a long time ago, that he was allergic to the metallic paint that they used to put on his face, so he could not play that part. Buddy Ebsen, one of the greats. And I hope you continue watching my series here. I'm going to go over a lot of different people. And I might have some shorts coming up. And I'm just going to try to grow this channel. So please like and subscribe if you liked what I did here. Comment down below. Tell me something I got to do or whatever. All right, well, you guys have a great and blessed day today. Thank you very much.